So last weekend, we happened to have the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And after I was watching it and seeing how the senior committee happened to bring in Kenny Easley and open up the door and he got enshrined, wonderful. Does he deserve to be a Hall of Famer? Yes, he does. But there happened to be a couple of Pittsburgh Steelers, or I should say several Pittsburgh Steelers off the top of my mind who happened to not get into the Hall of Fame. And tell you the truth, with Morten Andersen being inducted, there's a kicker who I'd like to be enshrined as well, who happened to wear the black and yellow. So right now, what I'm going to do is just tell you the Hall of Fame candidates of the Pittsburgh Steelers who need to be in the Hall of Fame within the next, let's go with 6 years, because you can't just put a bunch of Steelers in bulk. Although in 2012, we did have Demarni Dawson and also Jack Butler go in the same year. But hey, who's counting? So number one, first person who comes to mind, when I think Kenny Easley, I think a good safety. You know a good safeties are the Pittsburgh Steelers who needs to be in the Hall of Fame? No, I'm not going to say Troy Polamalu, because we don't need to worry about him getting in. We know he's going to be first ballot. I'm talking about Donnie Shell. Okay, those of you who've been Pittsburgh Steelers fan for a very long time, or those of you who are new to the club, what we fantasize about is that wonderful 70s defense. And when you think about that 70s defense, you have Mean Joe Green, Hall of Famer, Mel Blount, Hall of Famer, Jack Lambert, Hall of Famer, Jack Ham, Hall of Famer. But there was another safety who was down there, and I'll get to the defensive line in a little bit. But there was a safety that was back there who, he intercepted 51 passes. Oh, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive seasons with at least 5 interceptions. This man was a beast. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame? I don't understand. Oh, might I add, I believe he went to 6 Pro Bowls. He was an All-Pro. I believe he was All-Pro at least once or twice at one point. This man has 51 interceptions. I believe at the time of his retirement, he was top 10 in interceptions. Why is Donnie Shell, not only why is he not in the Hall of Fame, why is this man not a finalist every single year? I don't understand. Tony Dungy said he was one of the best football players he's ever seen. At one point, is Donnie Shell going to get the respect he deserves? Somebody needs to contact the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and tell him, hey, if you're going to look at the senior footage and you're going to have the senior committee put in Kenny Easley and we're going to put in all of these old players, cool, sounds wonderful. Donnie Shell, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And speaking of senior players of that 70s defense, why don't we look a little bit on the the front four, that steel curtain line? Yeah, we could talk about Ernie Holmes. Yeah, we could talk about him. Yeah, we could talk about the other guy. I am forgetting his name. It was Dwight White. How did I forget it was Dwight White? And there's Banaszak too. But I don't understand. How did I forget these names? I was rolling on a groove and I happened to forget the name. I can't forget names of great Pittsburgh Steelers. You gotta be kidding me, Dave. Get the names right. But moving on to the outside, the defensive end, we have L.C. Greenwood. All right, why is this man not in the Hall of Fame? Okay, because we didn't have stats on sacks in the 70s, but when they compiled all the footage, they came out to L.C. Greenwood coming out with 73.5 sacks. That's only 5 behind Mean Joe Green. How is this man not in the Hall of Fame? Okay, this man was a brute all up and down the field on the defensive line position. Okay, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of going up and down the field, kickers used to like to use their feet. And last I checked, Morten Andersen got into the Hall of Fame. Ray Guy happens to be in the Hall of Fame. I believe there's another kicker who's in the Hall of Fame. Gary Anderson. He's number 2 on the NFL all-time scoring list, okay? So what we need to do is get Gary Anderson in the Hall of Fame. Now, it doesn't have to be immediate, because granted, he is a kicker. But this man needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And last I checked, when we're talking about players, they have to have a coach. Oh, that's right, Bill Cowher. How the hell is Bill Cowher not a finalist for the Hall of Fame every single year? This man coached the Pittsburgh Steelers from what year? What year was it? 1992 to 2006. Might I add, since his first, he went to the playoffs 6 or 7 straight years in his first tenure as coaching. Let me not say first tenure, because he only had 1 tenure as coaching. From 92 on to 1997, the Steelers were in the playoffs every single year. And might I add, 1992 they were 1 and done. 1993 2003, they were one and done. But after that, every single trip he's ever went to the playoffs, he's always won a playoff game. Look and check the statistics. This is coming off the top of my head. It's amazing. This man is a winner, okay? If you look at the wins of the best coaches of all time, or I should say the winningest coaches of all time, Bill Cowher's in the top 20. When he retired, he was top 15, all right? So we need to get Bill Cowher in the Hall of Fame. Now, there's a linebacker, Joey Porter. Now, I understand it is a little bit, borderline, is he a Hall of Famer? Because now we have different sort of statistics for linebackers. But when we look at sacks amongst linebackers, Joey Porter's up there. He may not be top 5. I think it's probably not top 10, but this man is up there. He's almost got 100 sacks. I believe he retired with 98. We need to get Joey Porter at least in consideration. He was a nominee this year. We need to get him closer to getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. When we talk about guards, Alan Faneca. All right, this man was arguably the best guard of the 2000s. Okay? This man needs to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's been a finalist the last couple of years, so he's going to go in maybe next year or 2 years from now. So I'm not really too worried about that. I'm not going to get into detail about Alan Faneca because I know he's going to get in. Same thing with Hines Ward. This man has 1,000 receptions. Top 10 receiver of his generation, or even you could say top 5, but there's been so many dynamic receivers. But in my opinion, Hines Ward, he's a Hall of Famer. He was a finalist this year. He's going to go in within the next 3 years. All right? But we got a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers who's out here, and they're waiting to get inducted, and for some apparent reason, they're not getting the nod. Okay? But the way I see it is still best franchise of all time. We got all these players who was over here waiting, but especially L.C. Greenwood needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Donnie Shell needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Do the right thing. I don't know if there's a fan poll that we can send in and tell them, hey, we need to get these guys in, but they need that damn gray, they need that yellow jacket. Is it yellow? It's like a weird color, but we need to give them that jacket, all right? Because they need to be in the Hall of Fame. Do the right thing.